afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast. Lehr with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Master Propaganda. Instruction and direction of here today's topic, which is a Propagandacast Lehr on the artillery field officer. More specifically, some tips on how to get the most out of your artillery field officer, because I don't feel like the artillery field officer's unit has been, I think, a bit overlooked, sort of doctrinally compared to other stuff. And I do think he's actually a pretty good unit personally, with a lot of utility, a lot of strength. So of course here are a few tips I think to sort of help you get the most out of your artillery field officer, and that's also I think do a bit better with the Wehrmacht, at least have some more options with the Wehrmacht. I mean, overall, first one is get him in the first place. I mean, he's basically a 5-man squad for 240 manpower, which in the Wehrmacht is just nuts. Plus he has access to 4 MP40s, which do reasonably well, plus his Luger there he sort of carries himself, which is also pretty good. I mean, all of these together is just already on that level, he's pretty good. I mean, he's basically a better assault grenadier squad for most intents and purposes, and that's just the start. Remember, also use his concentrated fire ability against him to boost him, and well, not actually him, but other units around him. For boosting him, you use diversion, which boosts him and makes him harder to kill, but also increases the rate of fire or just his accuracy. But otherwise, use the boost there for other units. It affects not just infantry, by the way, but also vehicles, making them overall a lot more lethal. I believe infantry gets an accuracy bonus. Yeah, and vehicles fire faster. Say, you got a pair of Stooks, you boost them with the artillery field officer, and suddenly they begin firing notably faster, especially at Veterancy 3. And since the unit basically, the artillery field officer benefits from finding other units, having him to work together with other units is not a bad idea either. And lastly, again, can benefit the artillery field officer quite a bit. And again, allowing him to fast get up to the bits you really want to, which again, for example, is better concentrated fire, but also the heavy mortar barrage. A 40 munition artillery call-in. It does have a bit of a delay, but here's the thing. You can kind of just spam it at the opponent. Like, at some point, you're going to hit something, it's going to hurt, and then you pretty much just got yourself a 40 munitions wipe. That's pretty good. And again, most of the time your opponent will dodge it. You can also use it to clear out buildings. I mean, it's reasonably fast and it's pretty accurate. So again, call it in. Try to look for units. The opponent might not be paying attention. When you're doing a big fight, call it in and say support weapon in the rear line. Your opponent might not be paying attention to. Boom, gone. Like, the artillery field officer really has a lot of utility. And again, he can be really strong, in particular sort of against veterancy on his own as well. In particular, supporting other units, he becomes pretty strong. I mean, he's the sort of unit, part of me actually wants they just make the Wehrmacht accessible for you, just non-doctrinally. He's what the lieutenant back in Companies 1 should have been. Like, he should have been this guy. A lot more utility, a lot more strength. So overall, do not take the artillery field officer lightly. Again, he can do a lot of damage on his own. There we go, easily clearing out an anti-tank gun. No problems. And there you go, calling in there an artillery strike opponent. In this case, almost lost his machine gun team there. Just that artillery batch, and again, for 40 munitions. That's a bit more than a grenade, but has the potential for doing a lot more damage than any one grenade. So it's a pretty, solid ability for 40 munitions, to be honest. And again, it's probably one of the reasons, I think the artillery field officer in the first place is actually kind of good, but also concentrated fire. 25 munitions, boost your units, boost your vehicles. Good lord. That is astoundingly good. In this case, didn't quite do the trick, but still almost took it out. So remember, use his abilities. Like, really, half of the actually 3/4 of the artillery field officer is just his abilities alone. The smoke, which you buy, is free. Just use it as much as you can. Neutralize machine guns, anti-tank guns, cover assaults, cover retreat. You can do it all for free. Mess with your opponent's head as you keep calling in smoke, ruining their day. Like, really, just use it. Don't hesitate, use it. And again, it's in that sense, it's also a great way for you to train yourself in getting better with using smoke, because again, it's more or less fast, might not have the best range, but it's free. And it's pretty much accessible to the frontline units with the officer, so really just use him. He's great. And remember, use diversion to make him harder to kill, use concentrated fire to boost units around him, and of course, remember, if possible, to work him together with other units, but even then, he can reasonably work well on his own as well, because he's a 5-man squad with MP40s. He can usually win a lot of one-on-one engagements as well, which is, pretty good. So, I mean, there's a lot there to the artillery field of just one of them is get him in the first place. He's an amazing deal, and at 240 manpower, if you lose him, he's pretty replaceable, ironically. So yeah, there's a lot there with the artillery field officer, which just makes him a really strong, natural choice, I think, if you get him with a doctrine, even choosing a doctor because it has the artillery field officer, I would say, is actually, increasingly not a half bad idea, because he offers a lot of supporting abilities, he offers a lot of firepower, and he offers a lot of utility. So I can, strongly recommend the artillery field officer in a lot of situations, because again, he just has that punch, that ability, and strength to lead the troops of the fatherland to victory. So hopefully this video has slightly convinced you to maybe give the artillery field officer a go. Again, like, there's 3 doctors that are available and they're much about to purchase, but overall he himself is just a 240 manpower unit, which again is a really good deal for the Wehrmacht. 5 man, 240 manpower, 4 submachine guns, 1 pistol, and a real large load of their abilities, which actually pack a ton of utility. So give them a try out there. I suspect you won't be disappointed. But this was today's Propagandacast. Lehr. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, and so on. If you like what I do and wish to support, do consider donating. You can donate by links in the video description. Of course, would help me out a ton, and of course allow me to keep making these videos. And since food and rent doesn't magically pay itself, sadly. So thank you all, and see you all another time for another video. Cheers.